Welcome back to my forever world. Today we're building 3 new buildings in my forever world, and they are the forge, some random house, and a cool cattle shed that I think you guys are really gonna enjoy. If this is the first time seeing this series, well, we build. That's kind of what we do here. It's quite fun. I enjoy it a lot, and I would love more feedback from you guys. And if you're not subscribed, you might as well. That'd be really cool, and I would really appreciate it if you guys subscribed. And if you don't, that's okay. You're still here. It's all good. Now, with all this being said, let's get right into the video and let's start building. Today is day 100, and in celebration of that, I want to go and find some dark oak wood. Oh, we can see it. Look at that. It's literally right over here. Now, the big thing today is building a bunch of little houses. So I want to kind of figure out a couple different locations for them. I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 7 houses. We'll go with that. Or should I say 6 and 7? Did like the little children like that? Sorry, I hate that joke. I'm gonna grab some tough blocks, and then that's how we're gonna kind of set out our little foundation. So I want to put the first one here. So I gotta push this back a little bit. That's a nice little space. Let's get rid of this grass first. Okay, I like it. Now, one thing we can do, because of the pathway being here, is we can build up this edge a lot more. One thing I could do is I could take some of these tough blocks, remove this. Well, no, probably keep that there, but then put in a bit of a retaining wall. Kind of like here, maybe, I think would be a good spot. Like that, yeah, okay, I like that. From there, I want to put some polished andesite slabs on top of it to kind of give it like a little bit of a header. Yeah, something kind of like this. I think this looks good. Okay, now that we have the retaining wall in, I do want to go ahead and put down kind of like a base foundation. You know, something kind of like that, something basic. Well, let's get some dark oak and kind of put it here at the corners. And then, of course, strip it. I want the entryway to be kind of a certain way, and I have an idea for it. So let me go get some blocks. So what I want to do is put up some more logs. Then we're gonna make our doorway, which is gonna be some of that, some of this, and then some of this. So that way you kind of have this nice large archway into this building, which I really like how that looks. From there, I want to add in a lot more tuff on this build. Now over here, I want to try a little something different for the edge, or for the door. Now what we're going to do, I took all this out, but I think I'm actually just going to do this. So you kind of have this, I don't know, like this little half bit here. That's almost leaning out over, and then let me go get a door. We'll do some cobblestone for the door, and then, or for the wall, or for the, yeah. I speak English. For the flooring, and we'll put one there, and then we'll come in with some trap doors. So we have this sort of, I like that. I actually think that's kind of cool. It's also just fully put in the floor. I'm gonna just kind of put a bunch of cobblestone in, not because I'm gonna do cobblestone for the full floor, but because I do want to sort of get part of it. So we'll take that, and then we'll put some andesite in as well. Let me not fully fill this all in. Like that, and then I think we can put in tuff as kind of our last block. We're using a lot of tuff for this, but I like that float. That float looks really good. And from there, I want to put in the door, like right there. And then for the kind of the backdrop or so for the door, I want to do some spruce. Now this is going to kind of eat into this space a little bit, but I think it'll look good. Okay, I like it. I think that looks really good. So from here, what we'll be able to do is we'll have a staircase right here. So then we have like a staircase that's kind of like this. I might do it a little differently. Something like this. So then you can just wrap all the way around up to the 2nd floor. This little outlet's very nice for a staircase. I'm always to put in a floor. Thought I was recording and I wasn't, but this is some dark oak and spruce slabs just in a tile pattern. I think it looks really good. And we're starting to work on a bit of a patio, porch. Yeah, porch. We'll go with porch. So we'll go with something like this. All right, I quite like that. That actually looks really good as like a little patio. Or again, a porch. I keep saying patio. It's not a patio, it's a porch. Now the next bit I want to do is along the back side, this side right here. I want to take some stair pieces and put them out about one here, kind of like this, and then we'll take some slabs and put them on the edge, kind of like this. So you have a longer platform, which I really like actually. So we're gonna put some slabs in here as well. And then I need to craft up yet again some more trapdoors. We'll put them in like this. And now we have a square second floor with this area having like a really, actually I love this overhang. But now we have like this kind of overhang part of the deck, which is really cool. Now what I want to do is take some diorite, calcite, and polished diorite after I clear out my inventory a little bit. And we're gonna use this kind of whitewash tone as our second layer. What I'm actually gonna do before that is I'm gonna take this layer of tuff out and I'm gonna put in a dark oak kind of beam across everything because it'll be a really nice dividing block. But what we're gonna do from here is grab our polished diorite and basically just sort of go around after I put in some more dark oak logs. And from there, we'll just sort of place in blocks kind of at random, kind of in just the various different terms. I'm actually gonna do a bay window here, so this window isn't too complicated. It's really just like a bunch of bits here. Yeah, there's the bay window, like that. But now we need to put the top on. Okay, so something kind of like this. Oh, you know what? I'm actually really liking how this is looking. Huh. That actually, wow. The bay window looks really nice, but I need to add a couple more windows in here that are just gonna look pretty good as well. This bay window just fits really well in that one spot. Let's add some more windows. And these will just be your kind of basic window panes. All the glass is in, and I'm really liking this second layer. It actually looks really good. The windows are nice. Also gotta add some windows down here. Okay, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Now I need to add a little bit more detail to the front because it's very flat with these really interesting. This rain is gonna, I think fences are a good way to do this. We just kind of put some fences like right here and right here. No, right here. No. I misplaced. Whoopsie. And then we have a couple lanterns we can just kind of set right there in front. That actually adds a lot more detail to the front. Now, before we start adding in all the roof bits, I do want to see something that I might start doing in a lot of these houses. We start putting in leads right in front of all the windows. Kind of like this. I think that actually, it adds a lot of greenery. I'm not gonna put one there. Which I think looks actually really good. Wow. It gives it a lot more 3D feel, and I think that actually does work out really nicely. So we're gonna start doing that, I think. But now we need to install the roof, and I want to try out a new kind of roof. One I've never really tried before. So this roof design is very simple. So we have something kind of like that. Now I need to figure out what I want to do for the rest of it. Now I could change this a little bit now that I'm seeing it, but I do quite think that looks good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get some more blocks because I put them up. Our roofing material is gonna be granite and smooth, or polished granite. I keep saying smooth, it's polished. So we're just gonna do kind of a bit of a pattern here. And do you know what? I actually kind of like that. I think that actually looks pretty decent. I might have to do a bit of a border block here, but that shouldn't be too hard to do. Okay, so something kind of like that. Actually, that's a very different roof design. I've never even tried something like this, but I think the way I'm gonna make it look a little better is if I put a dark oak log strip right here. So then you kind of get a barrier block. So let's quickly try that. Okay, something like that. That actually, you know what, that works. That actually works really well. That's a very unique roof design. I've never even tried something like this. Although I might want to add in a bit of variety here, and I think I'm also going to put that kind of barrier block here as well. So we'll quickly do that. Okay, actually, you know what? That looks quite good. The polished stuff is kind of weirding me out a little bit, but I think it looks really good. Now I am going to go back up top here and add a little bit more substance right here. So let's get back up there real quick. Something like that. So that we have kind of the ender bits. I don't think I'm going to do polished tuff as this kind of roof design because it is very tiley. I don't know if I like that per se, but this is just kind of an experiment that I'm doing with this sort of texturing. And I think it's not, that's not the right block. And I think it came out actually somewhat good for what I was actually trying to hit, because very unique building style. And when actually, you know what? I'm gonna change this again. I'm gonna move these forward. All right. Oh yeah, that looks way better. I still think the tiled look of this tuff isn't the best. I do like the polished tuff block, but I don't like it this tiley effect. I think if I use something else, it would look better. But in the end, that's actually not a bad roof design. The overall shape of it is good. I just think the block palette could be tweaked a little. But that's a future me problem. That might be a next build problem. Now, I want to add a little bit of detail out the back. So what I want to do first is kind of add a bit of a hedge here, kind of blocking off this side, just to kind of give it like a fence feel. And then we'll do the exact same thing over here. Not too crazy, just kind of a basic front, like this, kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, I think that looks really good. And then the front, let's add in just a few bits of leaves here in the front to kind of give it a bit more of an overgrowth feel. And then the last thing we need to do, of course, is add in our pathways. Okay, so that's fully decorated, at least for the exterior. The interior there's nothing in the interior. I'll put something in all these houses eventually, but I don't know what I'm gonna do for the different houses per se. They're kind of just up in the air. The very, very last detail I want to do is I want to add a little bit of a garden back here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get like a little bit of water and then kind of get ourselves like a little bit of a garden back here. Something I think a little bit like that. And then we can put in more hedge, kind of just right here to block off the garden a little bit, kind of like this. Wait, that one. Kind of like that, so then our garden is pretty much fully enclosed in this little area here. That actually looks really good. I'm really happy with that. And we can add a little bit of coarse dirt pathway so that they can walk through. Okay, so now we have our crops planted in the backyard, in the back garden of this house, which actually looks quite nice. I'm actually really happy with that. Kind of building up this retaining wall to be part of a garden for this build or whatever. For this little house, for whatever reason this house may have for that. And that is pretty much this house done. So let's get planning the next one. I think I like the idea of the second house being kind of over here on this platform, but I need a bit more of a platform. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to push out this a bit more and make this steeper. And then I'm gonna build some rocky faces into here to kind of give it more of a stone cliff feel to it. I think that'll be a really good idea. Now that we have our cliff in, which I am actually really happy with this. It's just kind of a very simple, free-handed cliffside. Not any detail really in it. We're kind of sticking with a lot of vanilla terrain over here. But another thing I did notice about this kind of, so you have this cliff edge and then you have this retaining wall. But you have this little spot right here in between them that I can use to put a pathway in, which is what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna have a pathway that wraps up here to go into our house, building, whatever it is. I'm not exactly sure what this one's gonna be. I have some ideas, but I think it's just gonna be another house kind of like this one. This looks, I keep looking at this, I'm really happy with it. But let's get a pathway in. And just like that, we have a nice and smooth pathway up, which I might be adjusting a little bit just for the sake of smoothness, but overall, it actually looks really good. I'm actually quite happy with this pathway, as I have been with all the rest, as it just kind of goes up through this little pathway around this cliff and around the retaining wall. I'm really happy with this area. It's coming out really nice. That's fine. We're back over here at this house that we already built, and after thinking about it for a little bit, I'm gonna change up this roof type a little bit. Not fully. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the tough stairs, but they're gonna go a block further this way, and we're gonna replace these tough blocks here with dark oak planks. And I think that'll have the desired effect I want. So let's see if that's true. I think this looks a lot better. So I might adjust this a little bit because this is a very flat area, but the rest of it looks so much better. Oh my gosh, this was definitely a necessary change. Now, the only thing I still might do is I might add some tough blocks across here. In which case, if I do that, I can actually remove this and put back in kind of a whiteboard, which, you know what? After saying that, I think I'm gonna do that. All right, so we have the new border in, which I actually quite like. It kind of fills in the roof a bit. And then we also added back in this white bit here, which makes it just look way better, especially from the side profile. As this is a different style house than this one, but I think that the roof in this one is amazing. I really do like this roof. It's a really good one. It's a good house. There's some more stuff I could do, like I could adjust this slightly, but overall, I think this is probably one of the best houses it's definitely the best house I built on the server, but it's one of the better ones I've built. Now for this next house, I want to use a bit of sandstone. We have the most of the materials that I want to use for this build, so we can go ahead and get started on it. Now, that one is facing that way, and that one is also has the roof facing the same way, so I want to have the roof facing this way. So we're going to do a little bit of a different setup here. So quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and set up some of our corners, kind of like this, and then we can just put it like right there, and then right about there. So this is smaller, and we're going to put it back at one. So it's pretty much a square actually. It's not quite, but it's close. And then just put in some sandstone. And I think I still want to have the doorway out in the front because I can like bring it across the front of this cliffside. I think that'd be really cool. Now let's bring up the spruce just a little bit. Put in some of the sandstone walls and get in some of the doorway, which I love this doorway design. This is kind of what I'm gonna go with for most of the stuff on this world, but yeah, honestly, I don't even think I'm gonna put a door in this building. I might just keep it open and then do the same thing over here. I think it'll look better. Now, something I really haven't done with a lot of these buildings over here is give them a specific purpose, but I think I have an idea of what I wanna do for this building. A blacksmith type building, like we'll have a smeltery and everything. So we got to I have some of the walls in. I'm trying to kind of picture in my head how I want to do this. I like where this is going. So you have like your little entryway here. And then I think we could do like a smelting furnace like in this corner here. So let me get some stuff for that. We can go ahead and remove this corner of the build. Now I think I want to have the main sort of furnace structure. I want it to be more circular than anything. So we're just going to kind of build it up a little bit, and then as we go up we'll kind of slightly tail it off a little bit till we're kind of at this point. And if I need to get a campfire for the top of that. And while I'm at it, I want to try out the new shelf blocks because I haven't tried them yet, and I really want to give them a test. Now, I actually quite like that. That looks really good. I do have to do a little bit of blending, but other than that, I think it's really quite good. Okay, so something kind of like that. I actually really like this. Kind of our large smeltery tower. I mean, you can kind of see the fire, but from down below, it's just smoking. And we'll add some campfires in here as well to kind of give the impression of, I guess you could kind of consider it this is actually a smelting thing. So we'll go ahead and take this out as well. And I want to put that there. So let's get some campfires for that. So now we have our campfires. We're gonna put them in the smeltery, which actually looks quite good. That actually does look good. It's smoking and there's smoke coming out the top. I like that a lot. Now in the interior, I do want to have a couple of like extra blocks in that'll kind of help with the detailing. But if you would imagine, a smeltery would get really hot, causing embers to fly out. So for the flooring, I want to have it a lot darker surrounding the smeltery here. And then as it goes further away, it kind of changes. Now, I would prefer to use basalt. Let's go. And we got a music disc out of it. I'll take it. And we just got one of my favorite music discs, Tears. And I'm feeling like wasting a diamond on a jukebox right now. And we now have a jukebox, which I'll just put right there in the corner, and we'll play Tears. It's really quiet because I keep the volume really quiet because it's annoying. But I like this one. It's a good song. Now we obviously put the tuff in, and I can keep some of the tuff because it'll look decent, but the basalt is meant to kind of come in and be like the really charred, not like this. And look kind of more like a charred bit of ground. Kind of like that. Ah, yes. I'm gonna put tough here. All right, I actually really like that. That actually does look really good. So let's put some more basalt in, just kind of at random in this entire room. And honestly, I kind of want to remove the tough because it kind of makes it a green tint, and I don't really want the green tint. I want that regular tint. So now we have a bit more cobblestone. We can just fully replace all the tough. Because I thought the tough was a good idea, but upon further realization, I really didn't like how it looked. So we'll put a little bit more basalt in this, and now you have kind of this cobblestone and then what looks like charred cobblestone right there from this build, which is that's actually really nice. Wow, I like this flooring a lot. Now out the front, what we can do is we can have the actually cobblestone. I like the cobblestone is kind of spilling out of the smeltery. So we'll do that, and then the rest of it will be coarse dirt. You know, something kind of like that. Actually, I really do like that. It kind of goes from the coarse dirt to the cobblestone and then into this basalt in the smeltery. That actually looks really good. And I'm actually gonna move this. We're gonna put the anvil right there, right next to the forge. And that looks really nice. Now, pretty much every building needs to have at least a crafting table. So we're gonna go ahead and build one of those. And we need a cauldron as well, because you know, you need to dip your whatever you just built into the cauldron, because that's how that works. And then we're gonna jump off this cliff and fill the cauldron. Now for this bit, I wanna have it kind of an outdoor section. I think I'm actually gonna build up that wall a little bit more. And we're gonna basically tear out all of this and replace it with cobblestone and coarse dirt. That's pretty much what we're gonna replace all of this with. Kind of like that. So that way you can go outside to whatever you would need to do. I'll have to build a workstation here with some barrels. Let's just do that real quick. Put some barrels down like right here as if to go outside. Now, what I also wanna do is build kind of a covered area here so that it's covered while you work. So we need some fence posts. Or I guess we could go with walls, and we have some right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some walls down like so, and then we'll do one right there. And then we can build up onto this bit. And I also wanna build up the main bits of the walls up another block. So we'll do that real quick as well. And there we go. There's also like a little exit outside. So, and I wanna break up this white wall a little bit with another spruce pillar. So we'll do that real quick. Yeah, something like that. So that way you can actually get outside. So let's take some slabs, which we actually have quite a few of. And we're gonna build from about here to about there. And that'll work. That will work just nicely. Oh, wow. So let's go ahead and quickly build this out. Okay, that actually came out way better than I thought. Let's remove this piece of dirt and put a stair wall in. But this actually looks really good. I put this in here and I didn't know how that looked, but then I kind of just reinforced it. And it came out looking really nice, and it's raining. I love this game. Now, all we have to do is build the roof, and I want to build a kind of a different roof than what I've been building. So we're gonna quickly, and actually I didn't even think about this, inside, like right here. Anyway, sorry, that was a distraction. I want to build the roof primarily out of spruce slabs. So we're gonna make a bunch of spruce slabs, and that should, yeah, like just a ton of them. I probably made way too many, but what we're gonna be able to do is kind of follow this into the full roof, and then we'll kind of build it up on that side. So I think that'll be kind of a cool design. So let's get started. All right, and there's our forge building, and not completely done because that is a boring and disgusting wall. It is sandstone. There's nothing else going on. So I need to do a little bit of texturing on it. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna go get a little bit of sandstone, which I'd seen some down here, and we're gonna go get some of that as well as some just regular sand. And that is immediately way better. Oh my gosh. Crazy how much a little bit of texturing can do. And we'll do the same thing over here. All right, wow. That is incredible how much a little bit of texturing can do. That is incredible. Because that looks multitudes better. Like just a slight little difference of texture makes this build go from it's not that good to wow, this is actually looking like a really good build. Even though it's like super simple and not very complex at all. Like it's such a simple build. It's not done. I actually have a couple ideas. I just realized this is a very empty wall and this needs fire to go. So what if I kind of have like a bit of a log stack here and like put the fire out and put them back here for like some logs. I think that could be a good idea. Let me go get one. Now we've also got a grindstone, which we can just kind of set like right here. And I actually am going to use it on the shovel because we have 30 levels again. And we can put in these campfires. Oh, yes. Oh, I think that looks really good. Set them out, and now you have like some stacks of firewood. That looks really good. Now let's, because we're at level 30, we'll finish all the detailing there in a second. Let's go back to the enchantment tower and enchant this. And enchant the shovel once again, hopefully getting efficiency. Yes, efficiency 4. And just efficiency 4, that's okay. That's okay. We can actually we can mine through stuff way faster now though. That's gonna make everything a lot shorter. So now we have the smeltery in all of its glory. It looks quite good. Now there's one other thing I just thought of as well. I keep thinking of stuff like right as I'm about to monologue about it. I keep thinking of different things. I could put some shelving here, including, but not this shelf. Actually, I probably could put this somewhere, like on top of that. I don't know. I'll have to figure out more stuff about that, but they're cool. But what I can do is I can take some barrels and put them like up here, and then have some of these guys and just set them below. So it's almost like there's a bit of a shelving unit. And then I can do the exact same thing right here, but not put barrels on top. Actually, what I could do is I could actually just move a barrel over to here. So it's like missing something. That looks good. Wow. Interior wise, this looks really good. There's no light at all. There's just this. So I need to go get a lantern. And we're gonna put that in here. So there's like a nice little lantern. There's not much light in here because I would imagine they don't really want that much light. But this looks awesome. I love this forge. Oh, it looks so good. I'm like genuinely really proud of this forge with like the sandstone texture, with all the different materials, and then the forge building with the larger smokestack up top. This is definitely my favorite build so far on this world. And it's so simple. It's not even a crazy build. It's just a little forge sitting on top of this hill. And it's got like a lot of these useful blocks in it. That is amazing. Now I want to take a quick break from building buildings to build a field. And we're doing a field. This time it's once again another wheat field, as that is kind of the main field we're doing in this entire world. Again, we're making fields because they just make the world feel so much more alive. And of course, if you want to see more of it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and well, it's free, so you might as well. And as we keep doing this field, I'm going to be doing so many more fields as well. Once I can get carrots and potatoes, we'll do some of those fields, and we might do some flower fields too. So, yeah. And there we go. Another field added to the world. Now, I do actually need to add some pathway here, so let's quickly do that as well. And there we go. Another field added to my world. Now this one is on the other side of the road because the first three were all right next to each other, and this one is over here because this was a big flat area and nothing had gone there yet. So we went ahead and put a field in over here, allowing for the expansion of fields on this side. Now I'll probably fill in this entire hole and this hole pretty soon in the next couple episodes to make way for more fields. So we'll probably get another one here, another one here, another one on top of there, stuff like that. We're actually getting kind of tight for space, to be honest, with fields, because these are taking up quite a bit of space, and we got all the buildings over here. This is coming together really nice. I am really liking how it's not really a city, but how this world is coming together. We have all these cows here in this, frankly, really small and not humane pen. So I want to build them a brand new pen and a whole barn for them to live in. Because, well, they're just stuck in this tiny little pen getting entity crammed to death. I don't actually think it even have died due to entity cramming yet. But it's gotten close, and I've had to cull the herd a little bit. So let's get over here and see where we want to put in our new farmstead. I think that this little area right here, kind of further away from everything else, is a really nice spot for a bit of a farm. So we're gonna go ahead and get a pen set up, and then we're gonna build a cattle shed. Then we're gonna put all the cattle in, and then we'll move all the cows over there. So let's get started on that. And now we have the fence in, but there's a little bit of work we have to do on the inside of it because there is a couple of issues with it. The tree, I think it can stay, but there's a hole in the ground, and we gotta fix that, or the cows are gonna get down here and to about here, honestly. Well, baby cows might get through there. We gotta protect the cows. We gotta cover up this hole. Problem solved. And now we gotta work on the actual cattle shed. Now I'm gonna do it along this line right here. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this entire stretch. And the cattle shed will go in here, and it'll basically be a cattle barn slash ranch house that's gonna go in this area, kind of over here. We'll have a road coming up here in a second, but let's get some materials together and start working on the cattle shed. Now, first of all, we gotta clear all this grass out of the way. And now that we have a pretty good space, I want to go ahead and kind of get some of the layout out here. So for this building, the base layer is gonna be out of deep slate, like deep slate bricks. So something kind of like this, and then we'll go over here, kind of like this. Actually, that might work really well. I like that. This will be like a doorway, and then this will be where the cows can come in. From here, I want to replace this block and this block with spruce, and I want to split the difference with another log. So we'll go about 4 here, something kind of like that, and then we'll do that kind of normal art. I didn't bring an axe over here. Okay, now we got an axe. Strip all these logs up, and then we got to build out the archways, which is just kind of the basic archway we've been using. Nothing too special about that. It's something like that. That looks good. These 2 archways that will allow for the cows to walk into the barn. Now over here on the side, let's just build up some walls. Just something like that. Now we obviously got to do the rest of the building over here, but this part is walled up. Now for the windows, I want to do something kind of like this. Oh, we're gonna take some fences and make those. Oh, hi dog. Hi doggy, I don't have any bones for you, buddy. And we're just gonna kind of put them into the gaps here. And I think this will look quite good. Yeah, something like that. And then we can also do it on this wall as well, but with a bigger one. Yeah, something like that, so there's a lot of natural light. Now I only have 49 coarse dirt at the moment, but that should be enough to at least get started on what I want to do here, which is clear out a lot of this dirt for coarse dirt. Hi dog. At this point, I just decided to put my head down and get to work, as this was taking a while, and well, I don't want to make this video 45 to an hour long. So we're just going to quickly talk through as kind of the montage goes by. It's a very simple barn. I decided not to build a farmhouse off the side of it, at least today. I might do that next episode, we'll see. But as we can see on screen, we're adding cut copper stairs as the roof. And I love the look of cut copper as roofing, and we're going to use it so much more. We also built a silo, and I'm really happy with the silo. The silo was super simple, but it was really good. All right, let's get back to the normal person. I'm quite happy with this. It's simple, yes. It's pretty dark, also yes. But I mean, I really like these arches on how for the cows to get in, and the inside is pretty good. There's no lights yet. I don't have any torches on me. I'll put some in later, but I do like the roof, and the door leads to nothing. Well, I'm gonna add probably a farmhouse in the next episode. That'll go like right here. And I did add a silo, and I'm actually really happy with this silo. It's simple. It's really simple, but I think it actually gets across what I'm trying to get across as like a silo. So let's move up a little bit. Now it's time to go get the cows. So let's go get some cows. Come on, we're going on a migration herd. At least most of you. And there we go. We got them here. Now this isn't all of them per se, but it is actually quite a good number of them. And I mean, it's probably more than enough for what I'll need. So, well, it's just unfortunate for the rest of those guys. And now that problem has been taken care of, we can remove this pen. Now that we've taken care of that cow problem, we have this open area here. Now we're not gonna do anything with it today, as I gotta think about what I wanna put here. Although most likely it's gonna be some sort of farmer's hut, you know, to work with the 4 fields that are surrounding it. The very last thing we have to do is build a pathway to the farm, because we don't have one yet, and I want to build another pathway. So we're gonna go do that really quickly. And now our road is finished, leading us to our little cow barn, or a cattle shed, cow barn, whatever, with our cow pasture and our cows, who are actually inside the cattle shed, which is pretty cool. Today has been a pretty productive day. We've done quite a bit. We did, again, the cattle barn and the silo and the cattle field. We added another field. We added the forge on top of the man-made cliff here that I'm actually really proud of. And we added this unnamed, unknown use house that I will be using at some point, but I don't know what I'm going to use it for. With its very interesting and unique roof that I'm liking it more and more the more I see it. But the forge I do think is probably my favorite build from today, just because of the gradient we use here with all the the smooth sandstone, whatever, I forget what that is, regular sandstone, sand, and again whatever that block is, just looks really good with this palette, and I'm very happy with this forge. Now with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I can't thank you enough for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would highly recommend. I'm posting these pretty consistently, and I'd love to see you on the next one. With that being said, I'll see you next time. Get subscribed, get liked, and leave a comment about something, I guess. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Goodbye!